Hello there, good people, and welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw. We're talking college football today, my friends. And boy, what a weekend to say the least. Now, I predicted there would be 3 different upsets. 2 out of 3 is not bad. The one I got wrong, Wake Forest going against Florida State. Now, I expected the Noles defense to be good, and it was. They didn't allow a single touchdown all day to the Demon Deacons, but their offense was an issue. 3 points scored is usually not going to win you many ball games. Even without Drew Weatherford starting, even with Xavier Lee now gone, they still have plenty of issues. So FSU no longer ranked in the top 25. We'll talk about a team that now is a little later on. All right, next up, another game that I predicted would be an upset, and I was dead on this one. NC State going against East Carolina, 15th ranked team coming in, no longer, my friends. Now, it's not that NC State's all that good. It's just that they're not that bad. This was a game that was played in front of their home fans. They're an ACC team. The ACC goes a little deeper than you like to think. So that being said, it made sense that this would be a tough one. Also, don't forget that injury to Quentin Cotton that ended his season early. That was a senior linebacker going for East Carolina. That really hurt them in this one. And the fact is that this was a game that was a little bit of a reality check for them. They're not that good. They're competitive, but not that good. So far, great season for them. Congratulations. All right, Boise State against Oregon. Another game I predicted correctly, and I said it was going to be too high scoring for Oregon. Keep in mind that's a team that not only doesn't have their first, but they also don't have their second quarterback. The quarterback on the other side, Boise State, one of those great offensive systems, well, they were sensational. Freshman quarterback Kellen Moore was sensational, 386 passing yards. He had 3 touchdowns. It's a great system they have in place there. With all those injuries, it was just too tough for Oregon to keep up with them. All right, now let's talk about some of the games that definitely turned my head. The first one, obviously a ranked team falling, and that was West Virginia going against Colorado. It's very simple. You have to be the elite to win those type of games on the road against a big school like Colorado. West Virginia is not an elite team, at least not anymore. It's a shame for Pat White. He had such a great career up to now. He'll still end up having nice numbers. You saw his rushing attack is still there, but this is a team with a different coach and obviously not as much success so far. Hopefully they could turn it around, but at this point, not a team that should be ranked in the top 25, and they no longer are. Another team that now is ranked in the top 10, was ranked in the top 10 entering this past weekend, Alabama against Arkansas. I'll tell you, I didn't think that Alabama was that good so quickly, but they are. There's no question about it. Saban's doing something right. This was a game that they were winning 21-0 after the first quarter, 35-7 after the first half. Alabama is good. You're just going to have to add them to that very thick list of SEC teams that are competing, because I'll tell you, the SEC is very good. And that brings me to my alma mater, the Vanderbilt University. Since World War II, they've been 4-0 just 4 different times. They haven't been ranked for 20-something years, I think 24. In fact, 4 years ago, I graduated from Vanderbilt. In my 4 years at Vanderbilt, they won 1 SEC home game. In that game, we tore down both goalposts against Kentucky. Very exciting to beat Jared Lorenzen. But anyway, back to this game. The fact is, it's not about the players when it comes to Vanderbilt's success. They beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. They've beaten South Carolina at home. They've done everything right so far. Last year, they challenged Georgia. The year before that, they beat Georgia. This isn't about the players, even though they've had some good ones. Obviously, last year, a couple players drafted by the Chicago Bears, Jay Cutler shining bright in the NFL. But this is about Bobby Johnson developing a system in place that will allow this team that has less talent. You can check it out at Rivals.com or wherever you want to check all the recruiting numbers. The fact is, Vanderbilt does not bring in the top recruits, but they have a system in place that allows them to win. It's kind of like Navy. Sometimes you have to kind of tinker with things and make things a little different to compete with some of the bigger schools, and they found it. They're 4-0 so far, another couple of wins, and suddenly you're talking about a team that should be in a bowl game. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions yet because they've gotten me excited before, but at the same time, this Vanderbilt Commodore team, even though they lost their quarterback in this one at halftime, and they end up having Mackenzie Adams come in and play a starring role, I'll tell you, this is a special team right now. They're 4-0, they're ranked 21st in the nation. They're not a top 15 team by any means. They're going to lose some of the powerhouses in the SEC, but the fact is they're competitive, and for that reason, I'm going to write a check for $50 to my university called a donation. Well, my friends, that's all for now of It's a Shaw Thing. We'll talk tomorrow some NFL fantasy football. Until then, have a great day.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.